Once again, you're most welcome, promotion candidate. Um, another um lovely time to share with you one or two um questions that you may come across in the promotion aptitude test, and it is very important that I share with you this information before the portal opens. We have been preparing, and I know these questions that we are solving or we are going to definitely about one or two, or if not half of what we are learning, or more than half will surface in the promotion aptitude test once again. So it is always a pleasure to be with you and share with you something very interesting, something very important for the promotion exams. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, leave your comment in the comment section, and let us learn together. You're most welcome. Subscribe, like this video or like these tutorials, and let's jump into it. So these questions are most important, so take your time and go through them, and it will help you. So let's jump into it. The following questions are much of importance to the promotion aptitude test, especially those who are going to write assistant director 1 and director 2 and deputy directors. And most of the people who failed in the promotion aptitude test are within these ranks that I have mentioned, especially assistant director 2. There are a lot of people who are gunning to be assistant director 2. So because of the number, most of you who don't prepare adequately well um, failed in your promotion aptitude test, and that is why I've taken upon myself, do it for free, share with friends and colleagues and senior members to pass the promotion exams. So let's continue, or let's jump into today's tutorial. The following influence examination at the basic and the second cycle level of education, except what, except which entity, or except which agency. So NTC make an influence on the examination in the second and basic or first cycle institution in Ghana, NACA 2 and WAEC 2. So the one that does not have any influence on the basic and the second cycle institution is NIB, and now it has been merged with um, the National Teaching, the National um, Tertiary Education Council, now GTEC. So take good note of this question. So NIB does not make any influence in the basic education level. It influences in the tertiary level. That's the influence that it makes. Dododo is responsible for implementing and managing the internal control function of the district. He or she is responsible for planning, executing, and reporting on operational, financial, regulatory, and compliance related to audits or review of the district. And who is that? Who is in charge? That is the internal audit manager. The internal audit manager is responsible for implementing and managing the internal control function of the district. He or she is responsible for planning, executing, and reporting on operational, financial, regulatory, and compliance related to audit and review of the district finance. So the auditor is so much important in his work that we need to know. It is very, very important. So the internal audit um, has a lot of work that it does in the district. So don't forget to get this information before you go and write the promotion exams. To determine the performance of the basic and the second cycle and the TVET level of education, the following can be recommended. I. Increase enrollment in school, particularly in the disadvantaged communities. Availability of approved school community relationship improvement plan. Then quality of pupils admitted in the school at the pre-tertiary, the preschool level. Then timely achievement of milestone in accordance with the approved school calendar. So which one is part of um to determine the performance of the basic, second cycle, and a TVET level of education in Ghana? So um, the answers are: one, to increase enrollment in school, particularly in disadvantaged communities. Then availability of approved school community relationship improvement plan. And the last one, timely achievement of milestone in accordance with the approved school calendar. These are the things that are very important. The Dodo is responsible for managing and providing comprehensive program to families and children from birth to age 5, including the early childhood family education classes, early childhood screening, preschool school readiness services, kindergarten bridges activities, family outreach, and parental education of community side and families. So which one is in charge? The one that is in charge is the early childhood development coordinator. He is in charge of um the early family education classes, early childhood screening, preschool school readiness, and kindergarten breaches activities, family outreach, and parental education at community side and facilities. So the early childhood development coordinator is in charge of all these things that you need to know. So get to know this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Which of the following can be best satisfy the reason that a student was adjudged the best performing BEC candidate for school that was positioned last in the district? The question again: which of the following can best satisfy the reason that a student was adjudged the best performing BEC candidate of a school that was positioned last in the district? So the student assiduously learned on his own at all the time. That is the right answer to be provided. Now the three main type of evaluation methods are process based and outcome based. So the three main type of evaluation methods are goal based, process based and outcome based. There should be a goal to achieve, and the goal should pass through a process. Then the last one, it goes through results based. So that is the three main type of evaluation method. The three main type of evaluation method. They are goal based, process based, and the last one is results based. Take good note of this. Then asking a student to research into the causes of a widespread of an ailment on campus falls under what type of assessment? Asking students to research into the causes of a widespread of an ailment on campus falls under what type of assessment? It falls under diagnostic assessment. You are trying to diagnose to see the cause of the sickness. So diagnostic assessment. Take good note of this question before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now let's look at this question that is also much of importance. Exists when a person who occupies a position and he or she is not sure or consistent of his function. What type of what term is used for this? Exists when a person who occupies a position and he or she is not sure or consistent of his function, is known as role of ambiguity. Role of ambiguity. He doesn't know his function or he's not sure of his function and he performs something different. That is role of ambiguity. He's having a different thought of the functions that he is performing, or he's not having a clear um, knowledge of what role that he is performing as um, a leader. So take good note of this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now let's look at another question. Below are type of allowances under the condition of service. Below are type of allowances under the condition of service. Except what? So as I mentioned, in the teaching profession, our condition of service contained in the condition of service, and we enjoy salary as one of our condition of service. Then night allowance, especially those at the district offices, when they travel, they enjoy night allowance. It's also part of the condition of service. Then maintenance and mallead allowance. Then we also have transfer grant. We also have transfer grant. Transfer grant. We also have leaves and the rest. These are part of the condition of service. So the one that is not part of our condition of service is security allowance. That one is not part of the condition of service. The following make up a leave of absence, except the following make up a leave of absence leave of absence. The leave is part of our condition of service. So which one is not part of it? So we have maternity leave, we have sick leave, we have leave we have leave of interview or leave of examination. We have leave of interview. You're going to go through some interview. You'll be granted a day or two or a week to have your interview, but the one that is not part is membership of the committee. Membership of the committee is not a condition of service under um and is not a leave under the condition of service. So get to know this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now let's continue. Dododo is a vocation founded upon a specialized education of training. Dododo is a vocation founded upon specialized education of training. Is it teaching, learning, profession, or leadership? The correct answer is profession. So, profession is a vocation founded upon a specialized education training. Like the teaching profession, you need to go through a special or a specialized education training. Like nurses, they go through a specialized training. Doctors go through a specialized training. Fire service, police, they go through a special training, and they call profession. So profession is a vocation founded upon a specialized education of training. Take good note of this before and write your promotion exams. Now let's look at this question again, that you may also meet this question in the promotion aptitude test, and you may be fumbling and you need to sit down or you need to sit up and learn this before you go and write your promotion exam. What other are principles that are governed the behavior of a person or a group in a business environment? Dororo are principles governed the behavior of a person or group in a business environment. What is the right answer? Is it professional conduct, professional traits, professional values, or professional ethics? Which one is the correct one? The correct one is professional ethics. So professional ethics are principles that govern the behavior of a person or a group of persons in a professional environment or business environment. So take good note of. Which of the following is not a feature of an organized profession? Which of the following are not, or which of the following is not a feature of an organized profession? Is it registered association, ethical standard, certification, or examination? Which of these are not, or which of this is not a feature of an organized profession? So every organized profession are having a registered association. Like um the teachers, we have NAT, NAGRAT, and CCT as our registered association. Then ethical standard, in the teaching profession, we have our professional ethics and code of conduct that govern and guide the behavior of persons in the teaching profession. Then certificate, you need to acquire certificate, a professional certificate based on your profession before you can teach, or you need to have a license certificate to help you teach. So the one that is not a feature of an organized profession is examination. So take good note of this before you go and write your provision, your promotion exams or aptitude tests in the upcoming 2025 promotion aptitude test. Then refers to the knowledge, the skills, and practice that a teacher must have in order to be effective educators and to impact positively on the educants and the general public. Who are the educant? The learners. They are the educant. Those that you are educating, those that you are teaching, the educant. So Dododo refers to the knowledge, the skills, the practice that teachers must have in order to be effective educators and to impact positively on the educants and the general public. And this is known as teacher professionalism. Teacher professionalism refers to the knowledge that you have in education, the skills that you have developed in education, and the practices, the good practices that you have developed as a teacher, and you must have an impact on yourself as an educator and able to influence positively on the learners and the general public as large. So teacher professionalism are the skills, the knowledge, and the practices that a teacher attained to help learners positively and the general public, that you need to know this. Now let's look at this question. Very, very interesting question. But if you have not gone through it, surely you are going to struggle with it. Dorodo regulates the relationship between the employer and the employee. Dorodo regulates the relationship between the employer and the employee. What is it? Is it professional code of conduct, professional development, teacher education, or teacher development, or code of ethics? So the one that regulates the relationship between the employer and the employee is the professional code of conduct. It regulates your behavior as a professor, sorry, as a professional in your profession and how you should behave and work in your professional environment. So, code of conduct, the professional code of conduct regulates the relationship between the employer and the employee. Take good note of this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now, let's look at um, another question. A teacher has taught with a fake certificate for the past 15 years, and upon a tip off, he was subjected to a dismissal. Who will ensure that he is dismissed from the service? Who is to ensure that this teacher who is having a fake certificate is dismissed from the service? The process go through the GS at the headquarters, and the final um, body to satisfy the dismissal of the teacher from Ghana Education Service is the GS Council. So the Director General of Ghana Education Service and GS Council collaborate to dismiss a teacher who is having a fake certificate in the system, and that person doesn't qualify to teach. So that person is being taken away from the system. Now let's look at another interesting question. The following are circumstances that can lead to the exit of the teacher from the teaching service, except the following are circumstances that can lead to the exit of the teacher from the teaching service, except one, is it retirement? Two, I, retirement, secondment, um, resignation, IV, removal from the service, V, incapacitation, then VI, re, um, retrenchment. Which of the following circumstances can lead to the exit of the teacher from the teaching profession, except so the one that um, cannot guarantee the teacher from exiting from the system is secondment and um, retrenchment. Secondment and retrenchment. Secondment is a situation where a teacher is being loaned to another organization. He goes there and work for that organization because of the skills that he or she possesses. That is why the organization is in need of that individual to work for that organization and come back. The person who goes there to work for allowances but not on salary. The person does not collect double salary or collect salary from GS and collect salary from another organization, government organization. So in this, these two cannot cause for the exit of the teacher from the service. That is secondment and retrenchment. So take good note of these two. But incapacitation can cause the exit of the teacher or the personnel of Ghana Education Service. Then resignation, if you have resigned from the service, you can exit from the system. Then retirement, when you get to a compulsory year for you to go in retirement, you can exit from the system. So take good note of this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now, let's look at this question. How many days does a paternity leave cover if your wife is delivered? And as a worker in Ghana Education Service, you have a number of days that you can excuse duty and be with your wife for some days before you come back to work. So paternity leave cover covers how many days? 20 days, 5 days, or 15 days. Those who don't know, it is 5 days. So if your wife delivers, you can also excuse yourself, or you can also write for a leave, a paternity leave of 5 days to be with your wife during these few days to help your wife. So 5 days paternity leave is 5 days. So take good note of this. Take good note of this. A teacher survived a serious accident but became deaf and dumb as a result. He left the service. Under which condition can his situation be classified as? Listen to the question carefully. A teacher survived a serious accident but became deaf and dumb as a result. He left the service. under which condition can his situation be classified as? Retirement, resignation, um, removal from service, or incapacitation? The correct term is incapacitation. If the teacher cannot work because of he developing hearing problem, cannot hear and cannot even talk, then it means that the teacher cannot function as he used to be. So in this context, he is incapacitated and cannot function. So if someone goes through such a serious accident or ailment, he is having 6 months to enjoy his full salary. After 6 months on medical issues still pending, then the person's salary is halved, or the person's salary is divided into two and he's being paid half. Then after 1 year, if through um, a medical doctor still see it as his challenge not able to allow him to deliver his service, that is where the person is laid off. The person is laid off through incapacitation. Good. Now let's um, look at another interesting question. Um, yes, let's look at this question. The National Service Scheme personnel posted to a school. A National Service Scheme personnel posted to a school is for 1 year. Is it a is it permanent staff for 1 year, or temporary staff for 1 year, voluntary staff for 1 year, and a casual staff for 1 year? A National Service personnel is posted to a school is a temporary staff for about 1 year. For 1 year, the person does not is not part of the entire staff. He will serve for about a year, then he leaves. So he's a temporary staff for about 1 year, not a permanent staff. So take good note of this when you meet them in the promotion exams. You're able to deal with them. The circuit supervisor title has been changed to what? It has been changed to School Improvement Support Officer. School Improvement Support Officer, CISO. We have been calling CISO. And most of us don't know the full what it stands for, what CISO stands for. It stands for the School Improvement Support Officer. So the circle supervisors, their title has been changed from the old that we used to call them CISOs. We used to call them CS. That the circuit supervisor now has been changed to CISOs. That stands for School Improvement Support Officer. So any circuit supervisor or CISO that will come without learning the new things to improve you, and they come and be doing yes sir massa, that CS doesn't know anything about the new things that are going on. He or she is supposed to improve the staff, the schools that are under him or her. So the school improvement support officer, you are there to improve and support the officers or the staff of the schools under you, not to be doing do before complain. No, they are not supposed to do that. They are supposed to improve the schools and the staff in which um he is working or collaborating with. Should take note of these things before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now let's look at this. Factors to be considered in salary determination at Ghana Education Service include factors to consider in salary determination at Ghana Education Service include the following. I. Long service or rank. II. Economic condition. Then III. Class thoughts. IV. Comparison with related job. Then V. Risks involved. So if your salary is to be determined, one of the things that is being considered is long service or your rank. Long service or your rank. Then present economic condition is also considered. Present economic condition is also considered. Then comparison with the related job. Comparison with the related jobs. So your work is being compared with other job descriptions for your salary to be determined. Then the risks involved in your work also determined your salary in Ghana Education Service or other um, other professions or other job descriptions. So the one that is not part is the class taught. The class that you teach does not determine your salary. Whether you teach at KG, whether you KG1, KG2, or basic 1, basic 2, basic 3, up to the university, the class determined your salary determination. But what determines your salary determination is your long service or your rank, the present economic condition, then comparison with related jobs, then risks involved in your job as well. So take good note of this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Now, watch this or look at this question. Dododo is to measure an aggrieved employee has to pass through to bring action against management or employer. Dododo is to measure an aggrieved employee has to pass through to bring an action against management or employer. What is that? That is um, grievances procedure. So if you have an issue against your management or your employer, you go through a grievances process or procedure to get your problem being solved. So take good note of this one too. Very important question that you need to know. A teacher attacked and beat up educational officer. Watch this and listen to this question very carefully and tell me the answer. A teacher attacked and beat up educational officer. What possible sanction do you think would be meted out to this teacher? Verbal warning, and a written query. Then disciplinary transfer, reduction in rank, dismissal with pension of them. So your head is an educational officer. The CS is an educational officer. Any leader that leads the education is educational officer. So if staff or a teacher beat up that officer, that teacher will be transferred to a different school. In some cases, like the recent one where the two teachers fought, they would be taken through a dismissal process. That one you have brought the profession to a disrepute. So you'll be taken through a dismissal process. If they find out that you are actually um, going or misconducting yourself, you go through a dismissal. But if it's a normal argument or normal fight, then you go to a disciplinary transfer. Most of the time, you are being transferred to a very remote area so that you go and learn something and come. So I always ask myself, if someone is misconducting himself or herself, the most best appropriate solution or action to take by the office is to transfer that person close to the office so that the office will continue to monitor what do you call it, that person or that teacher, but not to transfer that teacher to a very remote area and he will go and worsen his behavior over there. So there is the need for Ghana Education Service to re-strategize, to re-look at this. If someone is misbehaving, the person should be transferred close to the office so that the person will be monitored by the officers day in day out and see whether he will be able to change or not, but not to transfer the person to a very remote area that will even worsen the person's attitude. So I'm appealing to GS, when someone misconducts himself, get him closer to the office. Schools are closer to the office, then you monitor the person attitude and make sure that the person changes. Now let's the first minister of education in Ghana was under Nkrumah's was Dododo under Nkrumah's government in 1957. What is the name of um the first education minister in Ghana? It's called um JB Azua. JB Azua. The first education minister in Ghana is called JB Azua. Take note of. Dododo is um premised on the principle of reciprocity within education system and is aimed at making teachers responsible for achieving agreed target whilst the employer ensures availability of adequate and timely resources. Dododo is premised on the principle of reciprocity within education system and is aimed at making teachers responsible for achieving agreed target while the employer ensures availability of adequate and timely resources. It is called what? It is called accountability. So accountability is premised on the principle that you you repeat or you make a reflection within Ghana Education Service or education system in which it is aimed at making teachers responsible for achieving the agreed target while the employer ensures availability of adequate and timely resources. So take good note of this. So accountability. You need to be accountable to whatever activity that you are doing in Ghana Education Service. Now look at this question. The governance process of managing the financial, the human, other resources for the attainment of goals and objective of the school is termed as what? Again, the process of managing the financial, the human and other resources for the attainment of goals and objective of the school is termed as school governance. So the school governance simply is a process of managing the finance, the human resource, and other resources to achieve the goals and the objective of the school. Great. Now let's look at about some few questions. Then we bring the curtains to um, an end. Dododo has is that all education policies should stipulate the disabled children attend the neighborhood school that would be attended if the child did not have disability. What kind of policy is that? That the Sri Lanka Statement and Framework for Action, UNESCO 1994. So Sri Lanka Statement and Framework for Action, UNESCO 1994 stated that has is that all educational policies should stipulate that disabled children attend a neighborhood school that would be attended if the child did not have disability. So have it in mind. And the last question, the last question to end tonight's discussion. The National Teacher Council or Teaching Council, the National Teaching Council is responsible for the development and the determination of its advice on relating to the curriculum and assessment. Listen to the question carefully. The National Teaching Council (NTC) is responsible for development and the determination of its advice on matters relating to curriculum and assessment. This question is totally false. They are in charge of licensing of teachers and teachers standard. They are not into um curriculum development and determination. No, they are not in charge of development and the determination of curriculum and assessment. The one that is in charge is NACA, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. They are in charge of the development and the determination of curriculum and assessment in Ghana. So would like to end here today and come back tomorrow. And if you have not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, double tap on the screen and like this video. And let's come back tomorrow once again to share another valuable questions. If you have any challenge in the comment section, put your comments there. Always go back to your email and read what do you call it, your emails. I always respond to all your texts, all your comments that you always put it in the comment section. So always go there and look at the responses that I always give. Try and give me your challenges or what we should do better to help us pass our promotion aptitude test. Have a good night and we shall meet tomorrow. God bless you. Bye bye.